All right, we are not in the woods, we're inside. It feels a little bit better in here because apparently Mother Nature has not gotten the memo that in Alabama it is not supposed to be summer anymore. It's actually almost the middle of October and it's still really hot. So it feels good to be in here. But anyway, we're in here to not talk about lifting weights, not talk about shooting guns or any of that. Talk about something different. Bug out bags. Most people call them bug out bags. I really like to call them a get home bag or a vehicle emergency bag, just because you know, sometimes a bug out bag gets a kind of a negative connotation, kind of a prepper, you know, weirdo vibe or something like that. So that's why I like to call them a get home bag, not kind of stay away from the whole bug out bag type thing. A, because of what people think about it, and B, it's not really a bug out bag. You're not really leaving your area to bug out. You're using this bag to get from where you are to get home. You're not bugging out, you're going to bug in, I guess. A get home bag is not a survival bag. I don't think it is anyway. It shouldn't be something that you take into the woods and you live for 2 months on. You shouldn't have that much stuff in here. You should have some stuff to help you get through some you know, some pretty sketchy situations if you need to. But ideally, this is made to get you from point A to point B as quickly and as efficiently as possible. All right, so some of the reasons you might need a get home bag in your truck or your car is for a natural disaster. Even down here in the South in Alabama a few years ago, it's actually been 2 or 3 times maybe, there's been a hellacious ice storm. What happens down here is that it's warm, so it'll rain, and the cold front comes through and freezes all that rain, and or you know, it freezes it and or adds snow to the top of it. So then you have a frozen layer of rain with snow on top of that. And we're not prepared for snow and icy roads in Alabama. You can say what you want, you can make fun of us because we shut down over ½ inch of snow. People in the north have emergency evacuations when it gets 90 degrees outside. I mean, it's 90 degrees in October right now, and Yankees up north freak out when it gets 90 degrees. Whatever. So anyway, back to the snowstorms. In the Birmingham area particularly, one of those snowstorms where it iced over the interstates and the highways and all that were bogged down. They were blocked up. People couldn't go anywhere. They had to ditch their cars and walk, or you either had to stay in your car and wait. I mean, what if you didn't have any gas, or you ran out of gas and you couldn't run your heater and it got cold, or you had to sit there for a few hours, or heaven forbid you ran off the road and got stuck and you had to sit with your car for a few hours in the freezing cold rain. I mean, that's just things to think about. Or maybe if you live in California, like wildfires or something. We don't have wildfires down here because it rains. Usually it rains enough and we have enough trees and everything to kind of cut down on the fires. You know, we don't have like fields and stuff and like dry sagebrush type crap. All our stuff's usually pretty green and pretty wet. So we don't have to deal with wildfires. But I would imagine out there, you know, what if you're driving and a fire crosses the road and you can't cross anymore and you either have to turn around or go back, or what if the roads get blocked up, or, you know, what if your car actually gets caught on fire and you have to, you know, go somewhere. Like if you're at work and it gets caught on fire, or you work, gets caught and you have to walk home, you know, something like that. And another thing to think about, we don't have in Alabama is like big earthquakes. I don't know. I mean, I can't think of any particular situation why that would cause you to have to walk home with your bag, but I mean, you never know what could happen. Another thing that could happen more frequently than a natural disaster is, what if your car just breaks down? I mean, what if you're in a rural area, there's no cell signal, you know, you're an hour away from civilization basically, and your car breaks down. It overheats, get a flat tire, can't fix it, you know, something like that, and you have to walk an extended range to get to somewhere where you can make a phone call or call somebody to help you out. Where I live, I have to drive through a rural area. The only thing I might see is a logging truck every now and then. There's definitely no cell signal, and you know, some of these roads, the back roads, you just hope maybe somebody will come by and help you out or something like that. And then maybe like third reason you would need one of these is maybe the reason some people get too excited about is the whole civil unrest without law type thing. You know, whether it's somebody invaded or zombies or whatever you want to call it. For some reason you might have to, crap might be going bad and you have to drive home and can't get anywhere, roads are blocked up or a bridge is gone or something like that. And you have to end up leaving your vehicle and walking to wherever you need to get. That's just something to think about. All right, so I've gone over kind of what they are and why we need them. So let's get into this one and look at some of the stuff that's in here and look at what we need to be in the bag, what we need to have in the bag. All right, so first off, like the whole rule of 3 thing, you know, 3 minutes with air, 3 hours with shelter, 3 days of water, 3 weeks with food. So there's not much we can do about air unless you just carry a gas mask, or, I mean, you shouldn't really need it unless there's like a, you know, crazy volcano or mustard gas, chemical something explosion. So anyway, we don't really have to worry about air that much. I mean, you can always use a bandana, which is always good to have in there for more than one reason. But the next up is shelter. You know, you can only go 3 hours without shelter. I consider your clothing to be shelter, and you know, like a minimal layer of shelter, because it can keep you out of the sun, it can keep you warm, it can keep you dry depending on what you have. So first off, the clothes you have on could be your shelter. You know, I usually don't like to leave the house without some sort of adequate clothing on. You know, maybe if I'm going to the gym, I might have gym clothes on, but I still have decent shoes on that I can walk in. And I've got some other things in here that could help me out depending on what season it is or what's going on. So like I said, the bag has a few things in it. If it's cold, add a few layers in here. You know, even if it's hot, it can still get cold at night, depending on where you live. So throw a fleece jacket, some wool socks, a toboggan, and some gloves or something like that. Throw that in here in the wintertime, and it'll help you just add layers so you can keep warm if you get injured or if you need to stop and take a break on your travel. And the same goes for the summertime. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a big guy. I got big legs, and when big legs rub together, it's not very good. So actually in here I keep a pair of synthetic drawers because nobody likes monkey butt. So synthetic drawers help out. They keep everything sliding real nice in there. Hashtag my balls were hot. Anyway, summertime, keep a hat. You know, I like these wide brimmed hats. I think they're called a boonie hat. I don't even know if the military uses them that much anymore, but I like them because they're cheap. They got a drawstring, they got vent holes, and you know, they got a wide brim, and you can get them in all kind of cool tactical colors or khaki, black, whatever color you want, you can get them. They're pretty cheap, and they work really good at keeping the sun off of your face, your ears, your neck, all that stuff. All right, so the next layer of shelter, I guess, would be a tarp. A tarp or a piece of trash bag, something thick like that that can keep water out. You can string up and make a little shelter if you had to. Ideally, like I said, this is a point A to point B bag. You shouldn't have to be camping. Like, it's not a camping bag. It's not an overnight like hiking or camping bag. It's a sustainment bag. You know, if crap's bad, or you know, you're trying to get somewhere really quickly, you don't want to be camping out all night. If you don't have to, I mean, if you're injured or your clothes get wet or something like that, you might have to. But ideally, you're going to want to take minimal breaks and keep moving as much as possible. In this bag, I usually keep a tarp in here. Honestly, don't know if it's still in here because I might have used it for something. I do have a poncho right here. It's just a little cheap, like plastic coated poncho. I think it was like a couple dollars. But it slides in here and tucks away real nice. And it's waterproof, and you can use it for shelter. You can string it up, or you can just, you know, drape it over your body. So I do have that. Oh, here's a tarp. It's actually, yeah. I have a, not sure how big, but it's like a brown and kind of duct tape looking material. Brown on one side and gray on the other. It's from Walmart. I think it's 8 by 10. It's like the smallest one you could get, so it would be lighter and smaller to pack. But I don't know if you can. There it is. It's in there. I don't feel like taking it out, but it's in there. Since we skipped clothes, here's a pair of, I think it's a pair of rain pants and a pair of synthetic pants I cut off into shorts. And I put them in a vacuum. It's one of these roll-up vacuum bags. I think I need to press the air out again because they sometimes, you know, the air kind of comes in. But I like to put them in this little space bag to go. It kind of just keeps them squished in there. But it's a pair of synthetic pants. You know, they dry quick. They're not cotton, so that's good, and they zip off into shorts. Like if I have gym shorts on or something like that, or I got blue jeans, you know, blue jeans are terrible in hot weather to walk in, or even if it's cold and wet, blue jeans are terrible. But I have to wear them for work and stuff like that. So I've got some synthetic pants in here, and I've got another pair of rain pants on the back. Just for the winter time, I've got a sweatshirt. It's probably not the best sweatshirt. I probably need to put some kind of fleece in here, but you know, I don't really wear sweatshirts, and I had this laying around. So it went in there, and there's a pair of wool socks on the top. And I already showed you my toboggan, keep my head warm. Bandana. Like I said, you can do all kind of stuff with bandanas. That's like a whole nother video just on that. So there's, what's in here? Nothing yet. Cool. Alright, so there's kind of shelter. My clothing that I have on, some of this stuff maybe if I need it, the tarp, the poncho, all that kind of cool stuff. Let's see what's in here. I packed this so long ago I actually don't remember. Another pair of socks and my synthetic drawers. Actually 2 pair of socks. And my synthetic drawers. Keep them in this watertight bag. It kind of defeats the purpose of putting dry, warm clothes on if they're not dry. So I keep them in a waterproof bag. Water, yeah. So you've already got shelter on, basically. So the next thing you're going to need is water. You're hiking, you got a bag. You're going to sweat a lot depending on what time of year it is. You're going to need some water. You know, I've got a water bottle here. I don't have water in it right now. But another thing I like to keep, this is a Sawyer bag. This came with my filter. It's just a roll-up bag that you can fill with water, and it threads in to this filter right here. It screws on the top. And I think it actually screws onto any water bottle lid, like a standard water bottle. So I've got this little backfill cleanings plunge, whatever. It came in a kit. It was like 20 bucks at Walmart or Academy. This is probably one of the most important things in my bag. You can see there's the flow. So you put this on put your dirty water in here, put this on here. You can put the straw on it, do like that, or you can just pull out of here, or you can set it upside down, it'll drip. But all this came in the kit, the little water filter kit, which is really good to have. It's out here on the top, on the front of the bag, because that's something I'm going to need to get to pretty quick. Next pouch, got some gloves. These are some thinner weight gloves. You know, if you got actually, here's some leather gloves too. If you got to work on some stuff like moving some objects like some logs or bricks or anything, you know, something, you only get 2 hands and you want to protect them as best as possible, especially when you're in a get home emergency situation. So I've got different types of gloves in here. Here's another bag. This one came from Walmart. There's the lid. Lid came off. Anyway, there's another bag. It's got a little carabiner on it. You can fill it up. The filter screws on the top of it. So, you know, if it's like a bad weather, you got time, you can fill all these up with water before you leave. And that way you don't have to filter them, you can just drink them. Fill them up in the sink wherever you're at work or whatever. You know, I keep mine empty, most of them empty, because where I live there's plenty of water. There's streams, there's rivers, ponds. You know, it doesn't matter if the water's dirty, I've got a filter, so you know I can there's water sources everywhere I go pretty much. All right, so that's my water. The next thing will be food. Let's see. That's another shelter. This is a survival blanket from SOL. It's probably not as good as the bivy, but you know, it says on the bag you can cover stuff, you can make a little shelter out of it. It's real small and not too expensive, doesn't take up much space, so just a good thing to have in there. All right, so food. All right, these little guys are pretty cool. I can't remember where I got them. I might have ordered them somewhere. And I think they're actually about to expire, so it's good I made this video because I need to replace these or eat them. They've got a 5-year shelf life according to the label, but these are New Millennium energy bars. This is 400 calories in one bar. This is orange flavored. This one's raspberry. I got a bunch of them. My wife's bag in her car has a few of them. I've got some more at home for like a I call it like a tornado bag, because you're not really going to leave for a tornado, or you're going to stay in. So when we get severe weather, tornado, I grab that bag and some other things and we hunker down in the bathroom. So that way if the house blows over, all our crap goes away, I still have a bag with some food, some water, some other crap. Anyway, that's another video. These Millennium Energy bars, these are good. They're pretty small, you can pack a few of them in there. Another thing, if you live a little farther away, you might need a few more calories. These are Daytrex, I think, lifeboat rations. There's 18 bars in here, and they're 200 calories a piece, is like 3,600 calories maybe. If I do my math right. Yep, 3,600 calories. I need to check the date on this too, because this has been in here for a while. Yeah, I got all these in 2013, and these both have 5-year lives on them. So it's 2018, so these are ready to get replaced. But anyway, that's like 4,000 something calories. I mean, you don't have to eat them all in one day. If it takes you a couple days to get where you're going, there you go. Another good thing to have, this is a little shovel. In case you need to dig a hole, go to the bathroom, something like that. Or if you need to hide where you've been, if it's a dangerous situation and you have to make a fire or something. You can bury trash or bury your, cover your fire up or whatever with a little shovel. Just packing some of this back. This little headlamp, it's good to have. And I live in Alabama, there's bugs everywhere. So a little bit of bug spray. This is Sawyer brand Max DEET. It's like 98% DEET. I mean, this stuff will like peel your skin off almost, so spray it on your clothing. But it keeps the bugs away. Alright, all this stuff, the food, the water, the bug spray, gloves, all that stuff is in the outside right here. It's like quick access type stuff. Stuff I'm going to need to get to in a hurry if I need it. It's all right there. Alright. Going a little farther, got a couple little bags, little kits in here. Open this one up. You've already seen the drawers and the socks. This one is my kind of like my fire starter bag. This has got some string in it for stringing up a tarp or a tent, whatever. Signal mirror with a little hole in it. I actually got a couple flares. This is an Orion. These came out of like a kayak or like a water first aid kit. There's a big one and a little one. I think these are ones you just like slam on the ground or break or something like that. But anyway, these are flares. You can signal with them. You can start a fire with them. You can, scare something off with them if you had to. These little things, I cannot remember who makes these, but they're like fire kindling sticks. They actually have a match tip on them. You can strike them and light these on fire, or you can just break them. And like if you hold them on a light or a match for like a second, they're lighting on fire. So they're great for starting things. I got 3 of them in here. I actually keep more of them in my house to start fires in the yard, like burning limbs and stuff. There's another flare. Just some little tools, can opener. This is it's made by Night Eyes, a figure 9. If you've never seen one of these, they're pretty cool. You tie this off and you make your rope go through here and wrap it around and bite it on these little teeth, and it just keeps it tight. It's a quick little thing to have. It's aluminum, I think, so it's lightweight. Alright, so that's all that stuff. I'm about to show you this little waterproof kit right here. This thing has got a fire starter on it. You push right here and push it down, and it makes sparks like that. It's kind of like a flint and steel, I guess, whatever. And this is a waterproof box from Walmart. It's like a cell phone box, but inside of it I have a lighter, which hopefully still works. Well, maybe I need to replace that lighter. Anyway, here's half a piece of one of those little fire sticks. And inside of here, I've got these little cotton balls. They're cotton balls with Vaseline. They're soaked in Vaseline or rolled in it and wrapped in tin foil. And you can cut the slit in it and open it up and pick it and hold a light to it, and it'll light on fire for a few minutes. And on the other side, I've got a 9-volt battery and some some steel wool. And what you can do is take the battery and rub it across there, and it'll make sparks and catch on fire, which is pretty cool. Another good thing to have in your fire kit is just dryer lint. I mean, that stuff it's super flammable. I mean, every time you dry your clothes, you swipe the filter and you got a handful, maybe not a handful, but every time over a few amount of loads, you've got a handful of lint. You can stuff it somewhere in a little waterproof bag, and there you go. You got some tinder. All right, pick that up. I'm also making a list of things I need to that have expired. I need to replace my food, and this lighter is one of them. All right, so that's got shelter, water, food, some other things, a few tools. You look in here, got some other things stashed in little side pockets. Let's see if there's anything. Nothing in there. It's all that stuff. On this side, I've just got some tent stakes. It's like 4. These are aluminum, and they're actually like a triangular shape. There's 3 little fins. And we got a hook up here. These are awesome. They're better than the round ones because they're a little bit stronger, and they're super lightweight. They're a little bit loud, so that's why I keep them in here. Also have a little radio up under there. Probably need to check the batteries on that. But I keep it dummy corded to the shoulder strap in this little pocket on the side. So if I need it, I can pull it out and it'll hang in front of me and it won't get lost. But tent stakes are great for all kind of things. Just taking out a tarp or making a shelter. Alright, on this side, I've got a steel water bottle. This is from ROTC. They're all the time giving away stuff at like colleges and stuff like that. This is metal. I'm not sure if I'd want to cook over this. I'm not sure how thick it is, but it's a metal water bottle, and you can put water in it. Right here, got a little cheap Kershaw knife. I've got my Spyderco knife on me all the time. Try not to leave home without some sort of knife, and it's usually my Spyderco paramilitary. But at any rate, there's an extra. If I'm sometimes I carpool or I ride with somebody, I can let them have it. They can use it. Misery loves company. It's great to have somebody else with you suffering. Anyway, here's a water bottle and metal canteen. I have cooked on it. I don't know why it's black. Maybe it had some kind of film on it or something that burned off or got stuck to it. But anyway, there's a metal cup that Nalgene bottle fits into pretty nicely. That way I can boil water and do that. It's not like I don't have any food in here that needs to boil water, but it's always good to have some hot water. Or, maybe if your filter goes bad or you lose it, you need to cook something to drink it. It's good to be able to boil stuff. Don't know if the camera moved. I had to change batteries. Actually, that battery died. I had to plug it into the wall. So maybe the camera moved. I don't know. Alright, so that's pretty much everything on the bag. Let me get this stuff back in here. Alright, I got a little pocket down here. Actually goes up under. There's nothing in it except some extra straps. I think these would be for a bedroll on the bottom for this bag. Which I guess we need to talk about the bag itself. This is a surplus Air Force bag. You can tell by the camo pattern on it. Not sure what the name of it is or who makes it, but it's a pretty sweet bag. It's got a pretty good setup, pretty good pouch arrangement. It's got webbing on it. I don't like to load down with pouches on the webbing, the PALS webbing or Molly, just because it adds bulk and weight. It's usually unnecessary. If I need to, I will or can, but this one has enough. This one has enough pouches and pockets already in it that I don't need to. Anyway, it's got an internal frame. I don't think it's metal. I think it might just be a rigid plastic frame inside of it, which is good if you're going to be hiking a long way. It's got pretty thick shoulder straps. It's got a chest strap to connect the shoulders. It's got some hooks up here, so I've got my radio attached to. On the carabiner, it's actually got these little metal rings right here for this thing's called Alice pack, like Alice straps. Not sure why it's there, because it uses this little slider. So I don't know, maybe you can add something or attach something to it. It's got a padded waist belt, which is good, and actually it's got Molly on it. And right here I've got a little double pistol mag pouch. My battery, camera battery. In this pocket, I just got a little cheap, like a Rayovac flashlight. I don't know if somebody gave it to me or I got it. It was like a dirty Santa or something, but it goes in here. I've always got my, which is now dirty because I've been out shooting, my Phoenix PD32, and my PD32 in my pocket is 900 lumens. I've either got it or a variation of Streamlight pocket lights that go from like 300 to 500 lumens. So I've got a decent flashlight in my pocket. This is just kind of a backup. On the other one, I've got a this is a Magpul Glock mag for a 9mm. This is a 17 round. I know a lot of people have mixed emotions about the Magpul Glock mags. Some say they don't like them for duty. They're perfect for range use. So I figured for a get-home bag that's going to ride in my truck its entire life, P-Mag could go in here. And I've also, before I even get to that, I have my Glock 26 usually is what I carry, unless it's like really cold and I've got a jacket and I feel like carrying the 17. But anyway, I've got the Glock 26 95% of the time, and a 17 round mag will fit in it. I've usually got the 26, a spare mag, and this one, and some other mags, and other bags if I have them. So we got plenty of ammo to get me through whatever I might come against. So yeah, that's on the belt. It's on the left side. It's attached to the bag, and it's not ideal to attach ammo pouches like that and stuff to the bag, but it's here so it'll stay with the bag. I don't have to worry about grabbing something else. And it's on my left side where I usually keep my spare mags and all that stuff, so it's there. I will have my other holster, whether it's a pancake or appendix holster or whatever. I'll also have it. One thing to consider for your EDC handgun is a comfortable holster for getting home in. I mean, if you feel like carrying appendix 20 something miles with a bag and all that, then go for it. But if you can open carry in Alabama, we can open carry. I don't like to, just because I think it just brings on too much negative stuff, attention and whatnot. But you know, if it's a bad enough situation like that, I think open carry would be fine. It'd be a lot more comfortable. But one thing to think about is the waist belt on your bag. Make sure it doesn't interfere with your holster. You could get a fanny pack. I know those are coming back with the cool kids, and actually the operators are starting to use them. I guess you could put your pistol in the fanny pack, or if you wanted to put like a little chest rig with a holster on it, you could do that. That's actually what I use when I hunt. I usually carry a chair and a backpack, so I have a little chest rig with a pistol holster on it when I go hunting, so that's something to think about. But anyway, so just remember, your get home bag is not a survival bag. I've got fire starting stuff in here, but it's just like a last case scenario, or a worst case scenario, last resort type thing. Don't prioritize your weight and your space on your survival stuff. Prioritize it on your food and your water and your quick, efficient shelter building. That should be your priority. And then, you know, if you can spare some extra weight or room, then go put some survival type stuff in there, because you know, you never know, you might need it. The bag itself doesn't have to be like a $1,000 hiking bag or rucksack. This is a surplus Air Force bag. It's pretty good. You can find the Marine Corps bags. You know, even old Alice pack. Some people say they're probably not that good, but it's better than nothing, and they're pretty cheap, I think. And they got a metal frame, and they're pretty rugged. So go on any of these surplus websites or your Army surplus store if you have one in town. Just pick up an old bag. Make sure the straps are still good. Make sure they're intact and the stitching isn't worn out where they attach. And you should be good to go with that bag. I mean, you can even get like one of the Condor bags. They're probably not as good, you know, as some of the military bags, or like 511 or something like that, but it's a bag that's going to stay in your truck, and you're probably going to use it once. Maybe if you practice your get home or your bug out, which you probably need to do, you might use it a handful of times. But anyway, no matter how many times you use it, you know, a Condor is going to hold up for, you know, a handful of times. It should anyway. So you don't have to spend an arm and a leg on the bag. Just get a decent bag that's big enough for your stuff, but not too big that you're going to want to fill it full of crap. This one has plenty of room for my stuff. It's a tall bag. I try not to fill it too full. I've got cinch straps on it, so I can cinch it. They're compression straps. I can cinch it down and make it smaller. But anyway, just most important thing, get a bag, put some essentials in it, and keep it in your vehicle, because you never know when you're going to need it. I've got one in my truck. My wife has one in her car. You know, she's a nurse. She's a medical professional. So, you know, even if it's bad weather, they still have to go to work sometimes. You know, like me, we'll close up shop for bad weather, and, you know, I'll get to stay home, but, you know, she'll still have to go in. So if it's icy road or something like that, her especially, she needs a good bag in the back of her car to, you know, sustain her if she gets in a wreck or gets stuck or anything like that. So get you a bag, put some good stuff in it, and keep it in your car, because you never know when you might need it. Also, if you've got some things in your bag that are different than mine that you think are way cooler, you know, just let me know in the comments. I'll read them and I'll look at them. You know, tell me what it is, or maybe where you can get it from. Like I said, it's not a survival bag, so don't be telling me about like fire starters and, you know, all this stuff. I got a few options for starting a fire. So just remember, it's not a survival bag. If you've got some good products for food, water, and shelter that are pretty efficient and pretty cool, let me know. Anyways, if you like the video and you want to see a few more, go ahead and subscribe. If not, just at least watch one more while you're here. Click the bell, the little notification thing. That way you know when new videos come out. I'm trying to put them out once a week to help you guys out, make it a little more consistent. So click the bell, like, and do all the other cool guy stuff that helps me out.